Let's get right into it. Number 8. Power nap problem solvers. The short sleep that supercharges your brain. When we think of habits of highly intelligent people, most imagine endless focus, long hours, and bottomless coffee. But science has proven the opposite can be true. A quick nap of just 10-20 minutes can make your brain work far more efficiently than pushing through exhaustion. The secret lies in how the brain processes information. During sleep, especially in that hazy threshold between wakefulness and deeper rest, your brain quietly gathers fragments of information you've collected throughout the day and stitches them together into fresh, often unexpected connections. It's the birthplace of creative breakthroughs. Salvador Dali famously took advantage of this by holding a key in his hand while napping. As he drifted off, the key would slip, hit the floor, and wake him up, capturing that golden moment when surreal. Brilliant ideas come to life. You don't need to be a world-famous artist to benefit from this. Whenever you hit a mental roadblock, try closing your eyes and resting for 15 minutes. Studies show that short naps can improve problem-solving ability by as much as 40%. That's not laziness. It's strategic brain maintenance. Timing matters. Early afternoon, when your energy naturally dips, is the sweet spot. Keep it short, longer than 20 minutes, and you risk slipping into deep sleep, which can leave you groggy. From a positive perspective, a short nap is an investment in your mental sharpness. The smartest people aren't the ones who stay awake the longest. They're the ones who know when to step back, recharge, and return sharper than ever. Number 7. Daydreamers in disguise. When wandering minds are a superpower. Have you ever been told, stop daydreaming and focus? Society often labels daydreaming as a sign of distraction or lack of discipline. But neuroscience says otherwise. Frequent daydreamers tend to have higher creativity and problem-solving skills than average. That's because when your mind drifts, your default mode network kicks in, the brain's backstage crew, silently connecting memories, experiences, and bits of knowledge to create new ideas. Daydreaming is like running a secret laboratory inside your head, experimenting with ideas your conscious mind isn't even aware of. Think about the last time you had a great idea in the shower, while driving, or during a quiet walk. That was your brain at full creative throttle, not wasting time. History's great minds were often distracted geniuses. Einstein, for example, credited solitary walks and moments of quiet reflection as the birthplace of his most important theories. Here's the positive takeaway. Daydreaming isn't escaping reality. It's expanding it. By letting your mind wander, you're giving it the freedom to find connections you might never discover while laser-focused. The key is balance. Use daydreaming as a creative tool, not an all-day escape. Number 6. Sarcasm as a brain workout. Mental gymnastics in disguise. Sarcasm often gets a bad rap as rude, cynical, or even mean-spirited. But understanding and delivering sarcasm requires a level of mental agility most people underestimate. When someone says, "Oh, fantastic. Another Monday." Your brain has to process at least 3 things at once: the literal meaning of the words, the intended meaning behind them, and the surrounding context to figure out the truth. This forces your brain to flip the meaning upside down while juggling multiple layers of interpretation. Neuroscience research shows that regular exposure to sarcasm, or using it skillfully, boosts creativity and problem-solving ability. It engages the parts of your brain responsible for critical thinking, linguistic flexibility, and emotional intelligence. Of course, sarcasm is a double-edged sword. In the right environment, it's witty mental sparring that sharpens minds. In the wrong context, like a job interview, it can be easily misunderstood. Think of it like hot sauce. A dash can make the conversation exciting. Too much can ruin the dish. The upside: if you get sarcasm, you're exercising your brain's ability to think quickly, interpret nuance, and process multiple meanings in real time. All crucial skills in both communication and innovation. Number 5. The lost in time phenomenon. The magic of flow. You sit down to play guitar for just 30 minutes, and when you finally look up, the sun has set. You've experienced flow, a psychological state where you're so deeply immersed in an activity that time itself seems to vanish. Flow happens when a task is challenging enough to stretch your skills, but not so hard that it causes frustration. In this state, your brain releases dopamine and endorphins, chemicals that make you feel deeply satisfied and engaged. World-class mathematician Grigori Perelman spent years solving the Poincaré conjecture, often losing track of entire days. Artists, athletes, coders, and hobbyists alike chase this state, not just for productivity, but for the pure joy it brings. The beautiful part: you don't need to be a scientist or a painter to find flow. You can enter it while cooking, gardening, crafting, or even organizing your space. The key is choosing activities you genuinely enjoy that also challenge you enough to keep your brain engaged. Flow isn't just getting a lot done. It's a natural high that makes you both happier and more effective. It's one of the most powerful gifts your brain can give you. Number 4. Productive procrastination. Delaying the right way. Procrastination has a terrible reputation, but there's a productive kind, one that history's greatest minds have quietly used to their advantage. This is when you delay a big task, but fill that avoidance time with smaller, useful tasks. All while your brain continues working on the big one in the background. Leonardo da Vinci often left paintings unfinished for years, turning his attention to anatomy studies or engineering sketches. When he returned, he brought new insights and fresh inspiration. Psychologists call this the incubation effect, letting an idea marinate while you shift focus, allowing your subconscious to keep making connections. The trick is intentionality. Instead of doom scrolling, work on something tangential. Organize your notes, do related research, or tackle a smaller side project. That way, when you finally face the main task, you're armed with new ideas and a sharper perspective. In fact, mild deadline pressure can act as mental turbo mode, boosting creativity and focus. The key is to avoid letting that pressure cross into stress. The positive spin: you're not lazy. You're optimizing your brain's problem-solving timeline. You're playing the long game for better results. Number 3. Deep decision makers. The strength of taking your time. In a fast-paced world, slow decision makers are often mislabeled as indecisive. But in reality, thoughtful decision-making can be a sign of high-level strategic thinking. When faced with a choice, deep thinkers analyze everything: current data, past experiences, potential risks, long-term outcomes, and subtle details others might miss. It's like playing chess. You're not just looking at your next move, you're simulating multiple future scenarios. Research confirms that people who take more time to decide often make more accurate, long-lasting choices, especially in complex situations. They resist the pull of impulse and emotion, focusing instead on logic and foresight. So if you're the one who reads the entire menu twice before ordering, take heart. You're running mental simulations that others aren't even aware of. It's not overthinking, it's outthinking. The positive takeaway: your deliberate pace can be a competitive advantage, producing smarter, more reliable results in the long run. Number 2, the boredom problem. When your brain outpaces the world. Some people find repetitive, routine work almost unbearable. Not because they're lazy, but because their minds are simply moving faster than the task demands. It's like being a Formula One driver forced to crawl through rush hour traffic. That mismatch between mental capacity and environmental challenge can cause frustration, restlessness, and disengagement. Unfortunately, schools and workplaces often misinterpret this as impatience or poor discipline. Thomas Edison's teachers labelled him a difficult student because he struggled to sit still and follow routine lessons. Yet that restless curiosity fueled over 1,000 inventions. The positive side? If you get bored easily, it's often a sign that you need more challenging, stimulating environments. Instead of fighting your natural drive, find ways to channel it. Tackling harder projects, learning new skills, or experimenting with fresh approaches. Boredom isn't a flaw. It's a signal that you're ready for something bigger. Number 1. The case for unfinished projects. Creativity in the incompletes. A desk covered in half-finished projects might look like a mess, but it can actually be a sign of a deeply curious and inventive mind. Leonardo da Vinci left behind countless unfinished works, many of which contained ideas centuries ahead of their time. People with multiple incomplete projects often excel at divergent thinking, generating numerous ideas and exploring many possible solutions. Not every seed grows into a tree, but each project adds to your idea inventory, a mental library you can draw from later. A concept abandoned today might become the perfect puzzle piece for tomorrow's breakthrough. Steve Jobs once said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward." Every unfinished project is a dot waiting to be connected. The positive truth. Unfinished projects aren't failures. They're proof you're exploring, experimenting, and pushing boundaries. They're the raw material from which your future breakthroughs will be built. That's how groundbreaking innovations happen. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.